What a game of football that was. Coventry City 4, Middlesbrough 2. We almost dropped 3 points at the Riverside Stadium. It was an absolutely fantastic game for the neutral and especially for myself watching it in Australia at 6:45 a.m. I'm going through a lot of emotions right now. My throat's absolutely gone. We put on a vintage performance, not defensively, but going forward, we were just so good. If you go on to enjoy this video, a like will be appreciated. Let's try and hit 200 likes for this match reaction. That's the biggest target I've set for us. So let's try and do that. 200 likes. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications because I talk about everything Coventry City on this channel. Talking about the game, I don't even know where to start. I mean, we were 2-0 up in the space of 15 minutes into the game. Ellis Sims scoring that world-class goal. That is probably the best goal of the season alongside Mason Clark's against Stoke City. It was fantastic. Victor Torp driving through that midfield, plays it to the left-hand side. He could have fouled over, could have got that free kick. Ellis Sims, first time hit. It didn't even look like it was going in after he hit it. And then it just, boop, top right-hand corner. And we find ourselves 1-0 up. Sorry, I'm going to make loads of cuts in this video because my throat's absolutely gone. The first 5 minutes before that, we were under a lot of pressure. They came out of the gates. They looked very good. I was feeling a little bit nervous. I was like, if we go 1-0 down against them, they haven't lost all season long at home. It will be a tough game, especially against an 85-ash side who knows the Coventry players that we have at the club. And as I mentioned, we had one chance. We scored it. World-class goal from Sims. The run from Torp was absolutely spectacular. We grew into the game after that. I know it was only a 5-minute spell, but we definitely needed to put our foot on the pedal after that slow start that we had. And then the second goal comes from Liam Kitchen. What an absolute bullet header that was. Grimes takes the corner, whips it in, it gets knocked straight back to him. The first time volley back into the box. If that was in the Premier League, if that was in the Champions League, that would be played on highlight reels for days. He whips it in. It reminds me of the Sakamoto one recently where Sakamoto whipped it into Josh Eccles. He headed it back across goal, but this time Kitchen, he headed it towards the left-hand side of the goal and it was a sublime header. We find ourselves 2-0 up in 15 minutes. Sometimes when you score those goals a little bit too early, that can give them a chance to get back into the game, and that's what they did. The last 15 minutes of the game, they grew into the game. They looked after the ball. Their goal came from a scruff shot from Whittaker. I don't know if he meant it. From what I saw, he scuffed it on his left foot and it just trickled into the bottom left-hand corner. We should be doing a lot better defensively. Before that goal or that cross came into it, Milan actually slipped, which allowed them to get on that right-hand side, dink it in. I don't know who got the flick on for their header, but it was a Borough player, and then he put it into the bottom left-hand corner. Our defenders should be doing a little bit better there. We find ourselves 2-1 up going into half-time. And honestly, we probably should have been 3-1 up. We had a couple of good chances on the counter-attack. Mason Clark came on for Thomas Asante on that left-hand side. He had a shot over the bar. Ellis Sims had another good chance. Sakamoto on the right-hand side had a couple of decent chances where maybe he should have left it for Victor Torp on the edge of the box. He was getting a little bit too greedy, but the form that he's in, I can understand him taking those shots. And as I said, it could have been 3-1 up to us at half-time. And then we move into the second half. We started it so slowly. We should have had our foot on the pedal, but instead we were defending. I don't know if that was Lampard's instructions from halftime or they just had the momentum after that goal from halftime, but it kind of felt similar to the game that we recently played against West Bromwich Albion, where we were 2-0 down, and then we got that goal before halftime, and we came out and we started attacking them. It was very similar, just the roles were reversed this time, and then they scored their second goal, which, on another day, Liam Kitchen gets that header. Thomas doesn't make that mistake. I believe Thomas thought Liam Kitchen got the header on it. But anyways, I don't know what type of pass he was trying to do. It almost looked like he was trying to side foot it into the back of the net, but of course he wasn't trying to do that. And it was just an unfortunate goal, and you're thinking, this is only going to go one way. Borough are going to win this game 3-2. The capitulation is going to start. We're going to cover up like we usually used to do in the past. And that could be a defining moment for our season where we look back at it and maybe the wheels have fallen off and we go, this is the game. We pinpoint this match where we go, we were 2-0 up against second in the league and then we lost 3-2. After that Thomas own goal, I thought Thomas recovered really well. He got a harsh rating on FOTMob only because of that own goal, but I think he defended really well. He made the tackles and of course he contributed for that third goal that we scored. Grimes has it, whips it back post to Thomas, of course. He headers it down. Their defender kind of knocks it straight back to him by accident. Thomas fires the shot at the keeper. It's a great save by him. And Kitchen is standing on the 6-yard box and he taps it in. Number one, why is Liam Kitchen in the box for that moment? It's 2-2, it's the 85th minute. Most teams would just be sitting back and just hoping that they don't concede another goal or try and get the point away from home, but not Frank Lampard. This team doesn't do that. No matter what the scoreline is, even at Wrexham when we were 3-1 down, we were still going for that draw, and we ended up losing 3-2. And this one, we just score a goal, and it was ecstasy, ecstasy, ecstasy. And I texted my dad 1 minute before that goal saying, we better not cover it up. And we did not do that. Borough burrowed it up against Coventry, as they usually do. 3-2. And usually, again, teams would just sit back, defend. But no, that's not what Lampard does. Kitchen gets the ball, who is arguably man of the match today. He was fantastic. He got the ball driving into the midfield. He could have fell over for the foul. We could have got the free kick. We could have slowed down the game. But no, he gets back onto his feet, plays it to the Silver at left back. He whips it in, and it's a delightful ball in. And Ellis Sims, back post, boom, header, 4-2 in the space of 2 minutes. And my heart went from bup, 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 bup. I don't even know what I was doing. I was playing Tetris or something. It was just an amazing moment of just relief and just ecstasy. And it was just so good. And it was just 2 goals in 2 minutes, as I mentioned. And I just can't believe what this Cov side is doing this season. We are absolutely killing teams, and anytime we look dead and buried, we rise up from the grave. Any times where we're 2-0 up and it goes 2-2, we don't lose any faith in our team. Lampard, what he did when he saw that we went 2-2 was a masterclass again from him. He matched them with that back five, bringing Kessler Hayden at right back and playing Milan as a right centre back, and it just worked to a T. We matched them up, they went to a back five, and we got into the game a little bit more. Rodoni came on, Allen came on, they just shored things up. Rodoni showed his class in this game when he came. I don't think he was the reason why we won the game, but he showed that he could find those little pockets of space between the centre-backs and the midfielders where it's a little bit too dangerous for them to commit to that tackle, because then they leave that space in behind for our wingers, Kane Kessler-Hayden and Mason Clark. I think those substitutes were perfect. Thomas Asante came off with an injury. Hopefully it's not too long, because we're losing a lot of players now. It's sod's law that we get Jack Rodoni back, and then Brandon Thomas Asante gets injured, Hadji Wright is injured. It just feels like no matter, we get 2 players back and then we lose 2 players. We just need a full fit squad, and hopefully we can get that soon. We've got that week break between the Charlton Athletic and I believe it's the Ipswich game, so hopefully we can get those players back ready and fit. Carl Rushworth in goal also. He made a fantastic save. Was it 2-1 or 2-2? When Whittaker had it on the right-hand side, cutting on his left, and I thought that was going top bins. It was a remarkable save. Rushworth necessarily didn't have too much to do in goal today, save-wise, but his distribution was good. He was good under pressure. I feel like he was a key player in that defence just to keep everything really solid and calm. Besides that error that Thomas made, and then also that little dink that they had for their first goal, I don't necessarily think they carved us open too many times, besides the one chance that they had when it was 2-2. They put the ball into the back post, and who was there to tap it in and missed it? Conway missed an open chance, which on another day, they score. It's 3-2. I don't know if we come back into that game. Maybe we get a late equaliser, a 3-3 draw, and we're looking at things differently. But he goes, they get on the right-hand side, first time into the box, and I just sat there and I'm like, it's 3-2. They're going to score it. And he put it over the bar, and Borough fans are absolutely fuming with him. I would be if he was a Cov player. You cannot miss that chance. It wasn't bobbling on the ground. There was no pace necessarily towards him. It was an easy training ground tap in, and he missed it. And as I said, we go down the other end and we score 2 goals. That's football at the end. We're top of the league, and that's what happens. When you're top of the league, you get all the luck going your way, you get all the decisions, which the referee today, I think he was poor for both sides. He was giving every single foul, every little niggle, everything like that. He was just giving as a foul, and he didn't even dish out 1 yellow card, if I'm remembering that pretty well. No yellow cards in that game, which there were a couple of fouls which he could have gave a foul to. Brandon Thomas Asante stood over the ball when they kicked it. That's usually a yellow. He let the game off yellow card wise, but foul wise, he just gave everything under the sun. He was poor for both teams, but it wasn't a reason why either team lost or won that game. It's just an amazing thing to do that we've won, was it 10 out of 11 games now in the league, which is record-breaking statistics for Coventry. We broke that record last season. We went on that run, and we went on that run once again. Lampard is known for doing this at Coventry. It's just remarkable, and we sit 10 points clear at the top of the table, 10 points clear of third in the league, which is Middlesbrough, who did drop down because Stoke City won 3-0. How ironic would it be if Stoke City got promoted automatically and Coventry City? Mark Robins gets Stoke City promoted and Frank Lampard gets Coventry promoted. We wanted that fairy tale with Mark Robins, and it's not going to happen, but we could have the fairy tale with Frank Lampard. We've won 12 games out of 17. We've drawn 4. We've lost 1. Our goal difference is plus 30. 17 games into the season. How absolutely bonkers is that? 47 goals scored, 17 conceded. Teams know that if they score 2 goals against us, we're not dead and buried. We will come back and we will win. We scored 4 goals away from home this game. It's just craziness. I mean, I don't know what else to say about the game. I think Grimes was good in the midfield. Torp, De Silva was good at left back. Good recovery from that terrible performance he had. Kitchen, of course, scoring 2 goals after that. 2 disaster goals that he conceded against West Bromwich Albion. It's a step up, and that's what this team is doing. No matter what situation we're being thrown into, we stand up. We put our big boy pants on and we deal with it. So that's out of the way. That's my match reaction. Let's move on to the player ratings of the team. And wow, we're going to start off in goal. Carl Rushworth, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Again, that world-class save from Whittaker on the right-hand side. Another goalkeeper will not make that in the league. He's the only goalkeeper, probably besides the Stoke City one, who would make that. 7 out of 10. Distribution was excellent today. De Silva at left back, 7.5. Didn't do anything wrong today. He got the assist for the 4th goal for Ellis Sims. Absolutely fantastic. Thomas, I don't think he played poorly today. I think it's very harsh on him just because he got the own goal. I think he recovered well. I'll give him a 6.5. He was probably the lower rated players on the pitch alongside Brandon Thomas Asante. It is his fault that he got the low rating, but he recovered well from it, 6.5. Kitchen, it's got to be a 10 out of 10. You scored 2 goals as a centre-back. You haven't put a foot wrong defensively. 10 out of 10 for the Kitchen. I don't think he's going to get a better performance than that all season long. It was just remarkable. Van Ivek at right back, or Van Uyek, however you pronounce his name, MVE, let's call him that. I'll give him a 7.5. I think he did really well, especially when he came into that back three. As Lampard mentioned, we had to change that formation. Kane Kessler-Hayden kind of took that right wing back role. He defended well. There was a couple of instances where he looked a little bit shaky, but again, he mopped up every single thing. He was fantastic. Grimes in the midfield, got to be an 8 out of 10. Controlled it again. That assist for the Kitchen goal is world class. That is the levels of a Real Madrid player or a Barcelona player. The technique, you can't teach that technique, putting it back into the box like that. And he is the instrumental player for Coventry this season, and he's one of the reasons why we are sitting top of the league and probably getting promoted to the Premier League. Torp in the midfield, 8 out of 10. Again, his drive through the midfield is just elite. He's one of the best technical players in the league. The way that he does a little shimmy and then dinks it past the player and just drives and makes them make a decision whether or not to take him down or not is just remarkable. He gets the assist, obviously, for that Ellis Sims goal. He came off in the 76th minute, resting him for that Charlton Athletic game. He's just world class. I mean, I just don't know what else to say about Torp. He just elevates to another level every single time I see him on the pitch. And if we didn't have him in that midfield, which we've seen already this season, we didn't have him, we would be in a lot of trouble. Moving on to the right wing, Sakamoto. I think he was a little bit quiet today compared to recent games. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. He didn't do anything wrong. He did have that little kerfuffle on the right-hand side. I don't know which player it was, but the guy grabbed him around the neck and threw him to the ground. So he kind of stood over him and kind of gave him a little bit. But he was good down the right-hand side at times, dinking it onto the right foot. A couple of good crosses, but I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Thomas Asante, I'll give him a 6 just because he came off with the injury. Before that, I don't think it necessarily worked too much on that left-hand side. I believe Mason Clark should have started, and Thomas Asante plays at number 10. But Lampard chose something a little bit different. I think Thomas Asante is wasted playing as a sole left winger instead of playing as a floater. I feel like he's a lot better like that. Into the number 10, Josh Eccles. I'm going to give Josh Eccles a 7.5 out of 10. Midfield role, he comes into it. He plays really well, keeps it simple. I loved his performance today. He was really good in that 10 role. Moving to Ellis Sims, 10 out of 10 for me. Up front, he was fantastic today. He was doing the thing that I criticised him for in the last game where he didn't hold up the ball well, and I said we need a striker who can do that. He showed me today why he could be that striker. His confidence, he's a confidence player. Everybody knows that. He scored 1 goal against West Bromwich Albion. He scored 2 today here. A header at the back post for the 4th goal and a world-class goal for the first one. When he's on it, he's on it. He's one of the best strikers in the league. But the problem is he's a confidence player. And if he doesn't have that confidence, then he's not playing well. But yeah, his link-up play was good. He held up the ball well. His distribution to the wingers at times where he would drop deep, first touch out of his feet and then whipping it to the right hand side to Milan or Tats was elite today. He's one of the reasons, obviously, we scored 2 goals, but he's one of the reasons why we were so effective going forward with his link-up play. And if we had Hadji up front, we definitely wouldn't have had that today. And that's why I said to drop Hadji. Moving along to the substitutions, Mason Clark, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I was thinking a 6.5, but I gave Thomas and he gave their own goal, so I can't necessarily do that to him. A couple of times where he gave away fouls in stupid areas, which could have cost us on another day. And going forward, he could have done a little bit better, but I'll give him a 7 out of 10 for the impact that he made on the team. Kane Kessler-Hayden, again, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I think he came on, did that role well, put it in a couple of good crosses, kept it simple, went into that right wing back role, and just did what he needed to do. He doesn't play necessarily too many minutes for us, as much as I would like to see him play, but he came on, put in a good performance. That's all I can say. Jack Rodoni, 7 out of 10. He showed why he's our number 10 and why we've been missing a number 10 in that role. It's almost hard to remember what he actually does in that number 10 role. And when he comes onto the pitch, you see him occupy that space between the centre-backs and midfielders and go, oh yeah, that's Jack Rodoni. That's why he's the best number 10 in the league. That's why clubs were probably going to pay 20, 30 million for him in the summer. And Doug King said, no way, Jose, you're going to stay with us for at least 1 more season. And the final sub, Jamie Allen, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Kept it simple in the middle, did his usual thing. When he first came on, I felt a little bit scared just because of the height difference, dropping Victor Torp, and they were getting those balls into the box. Not having that tall player who could help out defensively, I was a little bit stressed out about that. Jamie Allen came on and showed why he's a good player, why he's a good team player. He's not a starter, he's this guy who comes on for the last 10-15 minutes and puts in a good performance. Moving along to Frank Lampard, it's got to be an 8.5 out of 10. 2-0 up in the game. We were managing it well. They came back into it 2-1. Half-time, he identified what they were doing because they changed it up at half-time. They changed it up. We reacted a little bit too late for my liking, 2-2, but he reacted, and that's the most important thing. He's not scared to change his formation. Some managers in this game of football are like, I'm playing this one way, and if you don't like it, well, deal with it, because that's what we're going to do no matter what. Even if we're 4-0 down, 2-0 up, we're going to play this way, and we're going to win or we're going to lose playing it. And Lampard's like, no, we're actually going to play this way, and if they've changed their formation and we need to adapt, we're going to adapt. We have the personnel to do it, and we absolutely killed them off to a T. So I'm going to give them an 8.5 out of 10 for Frank Lampard, but that's my match reaction to the game. Coventry City 4, Middlesbrough 2. We are sitting 10 points clear at the top of the table from 2nd and 3rd in the league. Ipswich are climbing the table. They've won 2-0 against Hull City today in the league, so they're 4th in the league, only 13 points behind us, which I thought we built a bigger gap to them, but let's not worry about that. Let's just dive into that. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. 4 wins in a row after that Wrexham loss where we changed that back. 47 goals scored now in the season. 1 loss, 12 wins, 4 draws. 40 points compared to 30. Is this the season? I'm still sticking with my statement. When it hits the 23 game mark, that's when I'll assess whether or not we're getting promoted, because there's still 6 games to go. We could still lose 6 games in a row, which is not going to happen, but I need to assess halfway through the season where we've played at least every team once. But that's my match reaction to Coventry 4, Borough 2. Absolutely have that. We almost lost the game from a winning position, and then we went and scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this match reaction, like the video and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave your thoughts of the match in the comments down below. I'd really love to hear yours, and I'll see you guys in the next one for a Charlton Athletic preview.